A familiar favorite with a new look, and the fresh life breathed into it has clinched the 87-year-old magazine the prestigious National Magazine Award for General Excellence from the American Society of Magazine Editors in May this year. Reader's Digest's first win in the magazine's history. And the woman behind all that, Peggy Northrop. Peggy Northrop became editor-in-chief of Reader's Digest in November 2007. The former editor with Glamour and Vogue was instrumental in the 87-year-old magazine's new look and new life. In June 2009, Ms. Northrop was named Global Editor-in-Chief, overseeing 50 international editions of the magazine. We find out what is the secret of the magazine's success. You have refreshed the Reader's Digest magazine in terms of changing the overall look as well as the content. So what went into the thought process before you decided on the changes?
The way I like to look at magazines are really the way I think everybody who's concerned with a brand looks at a brand. It's like what we say about our magazine matters less than what people say, the customers say about your brand, about your magazine. So I wanted to see, okay, what is it that people are really responding to? What is the inner DNA of the magazine? What do we have permission to do, and what can we change? And what I realized is that readers understand what we are about, and so around that, as long as you keep the core, you can change all sorts of other things. You can change the look, you can change the feel, you can change the fonts, you can make the pictures bigger, you can introduce new sections, you can introduce new visual features, and you really do have permission to do that. So it was very exciting to take an iconic brand in the United States. I mean, we're one of the best-known magazine brands in the world, and to realize we have, our readers expect us to innovate and to change. We've been doing that over our whole history, and we can make a leap forward, and they will come right along with us. So it was great to get the feedback from readers that they really, really liked what we had done. We didn't have to be afraid that somehow they were going to turn away from us because we had changed too much.
What are some of the responses that you've gotten from the readers about the revamp?
I think people feel a little bit more surprised by it because we have gone back a little bit to our roots of being a content aggregator and of summarizing events and trends in the world. That's something that people really appreciate. We have always been a window on the world, both for our U.S. customers, but also for our readers around the world. So our ability to digest information is something they really appreciate at a time when we are overwhelmed with information on every channel at all times of day and night. So they like that. I think also the response that we've gotten to the kinds of uplifting stories we do, the stories about people who are making a difference in the world, our readers see that as very meaningful to them. And I've never worked anywhere where when you do a story about someone who has launched a project to give back, where other readers from around the world will send them money, will send them letters and say, how can I get involved? So the platform that we have to highlight the power of one person to make a difference is probably the most gratifying thing about my job, that level of engagement of our readers. So we get tremendous response from people for a new column that we do called Make It Matter. Recently, for example, we highlighted a doctor, a plastic surgeon, who donates his time to correct facial deformities in children around the world. Not only did our readers in the U.S. send him thousands of dollars, doctors and nurses signed up to go on his next mission. So we get tremendous response when we do those kinds of stories. I think so much of the time media show the bad things that are happening in the world. And I read the newspaper someday and I just think, well, I want to stay in bed because it's scary and awful out there and I don't want to deal with it. And to be at a magazine where we're showing a little, we're showing many of the hopeful things that are going on in the world, our readers really love it, and it's very meaningful to me as well.
Did the changes actually translate into better gains for the company or better outreach?
Certainly, some of our younger readers have really appreciated the changes. So have the older ones. I mean, I was surprised. I thought maybe some of the younger readers would like it better, and indeed, across the board, our satisfaction scores based on internal research have gone up by about 10 points, which is amazing. 1 to 3 points is considered really good. So 10 points I'm very happy with. Our advertising at a time when so many of my competitors are really suffering with advertising, we have done very, very well. We were down about 4% last year, but our competitors were down in some cases 25 and 30%. So we have held very, very steady. And our renewal rates are very strong, and we're doing quite well. We're focusing on our core reader. We're very happy with where we are today.
Do you think it's enough to sustain the magazine long term?
Well, the magazine, if it were one magazine and that was it, I would say no, it's not enough. But Reader's Digest has always been a multi-platform brand. We branched out into books and music decades ago. We sell millions and millions of books under the Reader's Digest brand all over the world. We have 100 million customers around the world for our products. We just reached our 1 millionth download for Reader's Digest Music on iTunes. We won a Grammy Award for one of our artists last year. So the Reader's Digest brand as a way of showing people, here's something you should pay attention to, this is something that we know is a quality product, is a tremendous advantage. I think that's true digitally as well. These days you go on a website and you search for something and you get 100,000 search results. People look for someone that they trust when they're searching for information, and that's what we have found on our online platforms as well. Now, what we are doing is we're spending a lot more time on our digital offerings because we do believe that we need to be where our customers are, and increasingly that's where customers are.
So has the profile of Reader's Digest readers actually changed over the years? So what do you think is the trend now?
Well, it depends on what country you're talking about. In the United States, magazine readers as a whole are older than magazine readers here in Asia, where the average age of our readers is about 40. So magazine readers as in the aggregate tend to be more mature. But the profile of the reader there are many more things that have stayed the same than have changed. We are really aiming at people who want to learn more. We are aiming at people who want to have a sense of hope about what they can do to affect change in their own lives and in the lives of their families and in the lives of their communities. So that has always been a hallmark of our brand, and that really hasn't changed.
In addition to the revamp, Reader's Digest will soon be available on iPhones. Find out more in the next clip.